In this video, we are going to talk about useful international travel tips for first-time travelers. So before starting this video, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for the future updates. No matter how often you've traveled inside your own nation, the idea of going abroad for the first time may be both exciting and unnerving. Even though we have been traveling the world for years at Go Overseas, we are constantly picking up new travel hacks. Going somewhere unfamiliar may seem intimidating and perplexing at first, but it doesn't have to be. To make your foreign trip go smoothly, remember to follow these easy advice. Prepare your travel documents. Most crucial piece of advice is to apply for your passport far in advance to minimize needless stress. Your options for travel are severely constrained without a passport or a visa. Passport. Given that passports have a 10-year validity period, some individuals may overlook this and become complacent, forgetting that they truly need to renew them. If your passport's validity is shorter than 6 months, many nations might not even allow you enter. And if your passport doesn't have enough free pages, getting a visa might be impossible. Make sure your passport is still valid at the time of your flight booking as a general rule of thumb. If you don't apply in advance, the procedure for getting your passport and receiving it could potentially cause you to miss your flight. Visa. You must determine in advance if you require a visa, a document that allows you admission into the country of your destination. If you board a flight without the required visa, you risk being turned away, especially if you can't apply for one at the airport. Holders of US and UK passports can enter many nations without a visa or can get one upon arrival. But regulations differ from country to country, so be sure to carefully examine the admission requirements. Research your destination. To make the most of your trip, it's critical to devote a lot of time to study. Even though it could seem more fun to travel on a whim, it is much more practical if you can prepare for some of the quirks of your destination country by reading the advice for first-time travelers abroad. Laws may differ in addition to differences in language and culture. Did you know that Singapore forbids the use of chewing gum? Or that feeding pigeons in Venice is prohibited? If you had intended to drink and ride a cow in Scotland, you'll discover that's also against the law. There are many regulations in other countries that may seem unusual to you, but that is simply because they do not share your culture. You can avoid difficulties by knowing them in advance. Address money matters. You will need to let your bank know that you are traveling before you leave for your far-off location. In this manner, when your card is suddenly used in a market in Thailand, your bank won't suspect fraud. You might not have simple access to ATMs at your destination. Many restaurants and shops in some nations with mostly cash-based economies may not even have card readers. If so, make sure you have enough cash with you to pay for your day outings expenses. For security, some tourists keep greater sums of cash in a money belt. Compare transportation and accommodation options. Since you'll probably be moving about a lot throughout your trip, make sure to do your research on the most efficient modes of transportation. Transportation. Websites like Rio2 Rome and 12Go are excellent resources for examining route possibilities and determining the bus, train, or airplane that will be the quickest and least expensive form of transportation. The most economical and environmentally friendly forms of transportation are typically buses and subway systems, which also give you the chance to take in the sights and mingle with residents. If not, you may always download a rideshare app like Uber, Cabify, Grab, or Bolt to enjoy affordable door-to-door transportation from vetted and authorized drivers. Accommodation. While hotels are usually an excellent choice, you may find that hostels, guest houses, and Airbnb are more cost-effective, immersive, and let you meet other travelers. If you decide to stay in a hostel, boutique hostels frequently provide nicer amenities than cheap hotels. If you decide to settle down for an extended period of time, look at locations that provide monthly savings. Hostel World, Booking, Gomeo, and other sites are compared on websites like hostelz.com, which also enables customers to make direct bookings at the lowest rates. Obey the laws and cultural differences of the country you're visiting. Recognize the regional customs and cultural nuances of your trip. Even though they seem strict or unfair by Australian standards, local regulations are the same for both tourists and residents. Be respectful of cultural variations in matters like attire and alcohol use. Just though you're an Australian, don't expect to be treated any differently from the locals. If you breach the law, the Australian government cannot bail you out of trouble. Keep in contact with friends and family back home. Before you leave, give them a printout of your itinerary so they will know where you are. If you won't be reachable for a considerable amount of time, let them know. In case you can't access the contacts on your mobile phone, keep a paper copy list of phone numbers, including emergency contacts, with you at all times.